Kari Lake is expected to launch her Arizona Senate bid next month. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time that we talk about the 2024 United States Senate election in the great state of Arizona. Because everyone, this appears to be the biggest announcement so far, at least the biggest expected announcement, as Kari Lake, the former Republican gubernatorial candidate, is expected to launch her Senate bid next month. That's right, the candidate that we ran last time in 2022 for the governorship that sadly lost is expected to launch her bid later this month, or at least next month. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you can join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody, and let me be 100% clear. This is at least expected to happen. So theoretically, it could not happen, but based on everything we're hearing, yeah, Kari Lake is more than likely going to run next year against Ruben Gallego and possibly Kyrsten Sinema. So let's get into it. Before we get into can she win and all that stuff, Arizona Republican Kari Lake will launch a Senate run as early as next month, according to 3 people familiar with her plans. We've heard about this for, I would say, 4 months at this point, that there was a good shot Lake was going to run. Now, that was always kind of, quiet compared to the VP rumors, because let's be real. A lot of people were seriously thinking that Lake was going to be the VP. I never bought into that because it just didn't make any sense, but people have really thought that Lake was going to be the VP for Trump. As of now, it sounds like that plan is either was never real or it kind of died out. Either way, it just looks like that Lake is not going to be the VP, and sadly, her court cases have gone nowhere. And I don't get why some people are hoping that she loses her court cases. It's like, what? You may not like Lake, but let's be real. There need to be changes to our election system, especially with the process. And again, I'm not alleging that, things happen, or I alleging they did anything intentional. The fact remains that there are problems when it comes to transparency with our election system. It's true. The fact that some Republicans hate her so much that, I hope she loses her court case, it's like, what are you freaking talking about? Lake, an ardent supporter of former President Trump, who refused to concede her narrow loss to Arizona governor's race last year, has been hinting at a bid for months. Yeah, we knew about this, and again, she didn't concede, and you could make the argument that maybe she could have handled the stuff after the election better. Maybe she could have just said she conceded but still try to go to court. You can make that argument, but she didn't concede. She never did. It is what it is. She has been active in national politics since her 2022 loss, and this week alone, she's headlining events in Iowa and Michigan. And this is another reason that many people were thinking that Lake could be the VP, because she was doing events in Iowa, Michigan, I think Ohio she did an event in. So it's like, those are some critical states, especially for next year when it comes to the Senate races in Ohio and Michigan. It's like, what's going on here? But I think that's more so of she wants to help other Republicans more than, she's going to actually secretly be the VP. That's what I think it's more of. Excuse me. She just wants to help other Republicans win. That's what I think this is about, but who knows? Her interest has largely frozen the GOP field for the seat, which is currently held by independent Kirsten Sinema, who, again, she's no independent. She votes Democrat 99% of the time. I don't care that, oh, well, she screwed Democrats once. Congratulations. One vote and that automatically makes her a dino. It's like, what? She has basically a 100% voting record with Biden. Don't give me this crap that she is secretly a moderate Democrat. I mean, for crying out loud, she was part of the Green Party and called herself a socialist a couple years ago. Like, that doesn't sound like a moderate to me. Blake Masters, the state's 2022 Senate nominee, appears to be lingering on the sidelines after preparing to enter the race in September. And this is the part that, ooh, many of us are probably going to be hurt by. As many of you know, and I think most of you agree, I supported Blake Masters. To this day, I still think he's our best option for next year's Senate bid. But I can understand why he wouldn't want to run against Kari Lake. For one, they both appeal to the same kind of voter. You know, the Trumpian type. The issue is for Masters is Lake has a more firm hold on that group. Let's just be real. Masters does have I would say more of the libertarian, like Tea Party side of the Trumpian base, but at this point in time, it's not 2010 anymore. It's not like, oh, that we're not super Tea Party anymore. That's not where we're at this point. So this is possibly a sad development because, man, Blake Masters is a great guy. He's great on the issues, and he got shafted last year. Even most people are admitting that now. There is no specific date for Lake's launch, but it will almost certainly come in the month of October, according to a person familiar with their plans. The Arizona race is a crucial swing state that could determine the control of the Senate, which, funny enough, Mitch McConnell's more focused on frickin' Pennsylvania against Bob Casey. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, that Mitch McConnell's more focused on frickin' Pennsylvania because his guy McCormick's gonna run? It's like, what? McCormick has zero shot, and you're gonna spend God knows how much on that race. But wasn't the whole point of McCormick is he's a self-funder? Why do you need to give him $500 million? It's absolutely bizarre. We have people that are just abandoning the Senate race, which we'll get to in a second, because, like, yeah, it's not looking great for us right now, but Republicans could absolutely win this race. Sinema switched to become an independent last year, roiled the race for her seat. She has not said whether or not she will seek re-election, and Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallego already launched a Senate campaign. I personally believe she's going to run, because why would you switch to independent then not run? Like, that's kind of a waste of time. If you're not going to run, just say you're not running, and just don't switch parties. I think the fact that she did switch parties is an indication that there is a serious possibility she does run. On the GOP side, Pinole County Sheriff Mark Lamb is running. The New York Times reported that Trump called Masters shortly after the news broke of his Senate plans and expressed doubt that he could beat Lake in a primary, which I sadly agree with. Like, I don't think that Masters could beat Lake in a primary. That's just a sad reality of things. I mean, I love Masters. I think he's a great guy. I hope he runs for, like, a congressional seat. But you're not going to beat Lake in a primary. And this is the part of the video where a lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying, I don't necessarily think Lake's a good candidate. I really don't. For this specific race, I don't think so. Listen, you could say what you will about the election stuff last year, which, again, I have my own opinions about. In fact, I always said that it was bullshit what Maricopa County did. But with that being said, right, I just don't see how Kari Lake can win. I'm just being 100% honest with everybody. Kari Lake's problem isn't a base problem. It's obvious. She gets a large chunk of the base for sure. Her problem is there are these moderate Republicans in Arizona. And I'm getting real sick of these people, but it's true. There are these moderate Republicans that seem more closer to the Utah GOP because religious reasons. We'll get to that in a second. Because, well, they're more moderate. They don't like Trump. They don't like Trumpism. They don't like his candidates like Lake. And there's a lot of problems for it. And I don't think Kari Lake can appeal to those voters. Because Arizona's a state where, yeah, you got to get your base out to vote, that's for certain, but you also can't get killed with the McCain types. You may not like them, but Lake is openly hostile to them. I mean, she openly said, get out of the party and don't vote for me or whatever. It's like, I like Lake, but it's just like, that's not good messaging. You're not going to win by telling some of your Republican voters, don't vote for you, or whatever she said. Now, who do I support then? Well, if it's not Masters, Mark Lamb. Mark Lamb, for multiple reasons, I think, is our best option. One, he's not well known, which is a positive. He has the advantage of people don't really know who Mark Lamb is. Right? They just know him maybe as a sheriff of Pinal County. But that's a positive. Like, all right, people know him for being the sheriff of Pinal County. He has an opportunity to build positive name ID. Absolutely. I mean, his record on, being a sheriff, that may help him with some of these, more McCain-type Republicans. And so far, his campaign has actually been damn solid. Go look at his Twitter feed. It's like, great optics. He's doing a bunch of campaign events. He's not pissing off anybody in the GOP. A lot of people like him. Steve Daines even might support him. He definitely has a lot of positive credentials to back him up. And I was talking about the religious thing. This is a kind of a funny thing, but you look at the Twitter account, or not the Twitter account, the wiki page for Mark Lamb. Scroll down here. Lamb is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, aka the Mormon Church. Now, I'm not saying this is 100%, but what group has Trump struggled the most with compared to past Republicans? It's Mormons. Well, let's not pretend it's otherwise. It's absolutely true. That is the one group Trump has struggled the most with of the core Republican base, at least from past years. Well, take a guess what the demographics of Arizona are related to religious data. I know it's a bit outdated, but look at this. Almost 400,000 people in the state of Arizona are Mormon. It's one of the largest religious bodies in the state. And this is the one thing I don't think enough people are talking about. Mark Lamb being a Mormon doesn't automatically mean he can peel off all these voters. But let's just say he does a couple points better than Trump with these voters. Well, that can lessen the margin. I mean, Trump lost in large part, quotations, because he did terrible with some of these Mormon voters. I think Mark Lamb could do not just like, I'm not talking about a 50-point increase, but just a couple points. Like a 5-point improvement. We just got to see what happens, and I think that Mark Lamb could possibly peel back some of those voters. Who, by the way, I think are actually going to vote for somebody like Kyrsten Sinema. Because a lot of these Mormon Republicans, not all of them, but it just seems like based on like the results in Utah, for whatever reason, they like moderate Republicans and fake Democrats, fake moderates and Democrats. Well, Kyrsten Sinema is running as the fake Democrat moderate, or the independent in this case. Well, when you look at the polling, there's some indication to say she is actually taking votes away from Mark Lamb. That's crazy to think, but there's a possibility that these voters are the type of voters I could describe. They're Mormon. They're the John McCain types. They don't like Trump. They're more moderate on the issues. You can't say anything or they bail on you. I'm just saying, guys. I'm not saying 100% that Mark Lamb is going to win, but I think he could win. I think when you look at his past as being a sheriff, he's already well-liked within the base. But also at the same time, he can improve his name ID because he's still a little bit unknown. And he does have the religious factor, which may actually help him. I know it's kind of a meme that, Mormons vote Mormon, but is that really a hot take at this point. I'm just being clear. I'm not trying to offend Mormons. I'm just saying that based on past results, it seems like that's kind of true. But who knows? This is a developing race, and it seems like it's mostly going to be between Mark Lamb and Kari Lake. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.